Hello, I'm Zaka.
Hello, I'm Gotarama, and we're Meson Pie.
And every now and again, a game comes along that we both really love.
Yeah.
Rare beast,
Yeah.
indeed. And this time we're going to be talking about King of Dragon Pass.
Yeah, brilliant.
It was made by A Sharp and released back in 1999.
Yes, forever ago.
Yeah. So what sort of game would you say it is?
So it's sort of a kingdom management type game, if you like.
Yeah, it's like a political simulation, but set in Glorantha, which is the RuneQuest world. And I would say it contains role-playing elements because you have to think like one of the tribespeople when you're ruling them.
Yeah, it's not, you can't use your, if you like, modern day ethics on things.
No, not at all.
Got to go with what it was like, well, I mean it's fictional, but what it's like there.
Yeah, and you run basically a council of people, and they'll all give you advice, like back in Civ 2, where you get advice of your people.
I suppose.
They'll kind of help you out with the decisions if you don't know which way to go, because you're not an Orlanthi tribes person.
Yeah.
They'll give you sort of details of, well, I'll do this, but they're all biased according to their own personal interests, which I really love about it.
Yeah.
I've read up somewhere that there's 640,000 words in the game. It's just massive, absolutely massive amount of text. So it is text based. If that puts you off, then don't play this game.
Yeah, I mean they speak to you, if you like, in text, and all the decision things all text based, sure, but they give you nice pictures with things, and I think it helps a bit.
So it's set in Glorantha, which is the RuneQuest world for the role playing game, which is a proper tabletop role playing game.
Yeah, the whole, well, not just specifically RuneQuest, but the whole Glorantha thing, which is how the game is set, is very different from the route that Dungeons and Dragons took with role playing games.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's
much more
about mythology and stuff, and D&D's, if you like, trash fantasy, really.
Yeah, it's more like, it's what you expect from fantasy nowadays. It's what the cliche has become, because D&D has been around for so long. You expect that kind of, wizards with sticks and things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas in the RuneQuest world, anyone can use magic to a greater or lesser extent.
Yeah, well, yes, it's commonplace, but there's more powerful magic that only certain people can use.
And ancient sort of dangerous enemies and things like that. They've all got their own hideous magic.
Yeah, and in the game you're essentially using clan magic.
The lore is so rich, isn't it, in the RuneQuest world?
Yeah.
It's like there's so much to explore, and I don't think, if you haven't done the played with the role-playing game, I don't think it should put you off.
No, you don't need to know any of it. It gives you enough information. If you do know some of it, it's more of a nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
It's like, they mentioned something that I remember.
Yeah, but you don't need that. It's something to explore and really enjoy, because it's, good old mythological stories.
Yeah.
So the backstory of the game is that a tyrant pretender has risen up and is called the Pharaoh, and he's driven everyone out of their traditional homelands and into Dragon Pass.
Yeah, an evil fairy.
Yeah, evil Pharaoh. And you take control of a clan of people who are trying to survive in this really harsh place, Dragon Pass, and you're surrounded by other people similarly struggling to survive.
Yeah.
The way the game plays is that you make decisions for your clan. You allocate people to various tasks. You decide whether you're going to be a warring clan or a peaceful one, and you make decisions according to that, and you've got to stick to it, because otherwise things can get a bit tricky.
Yeah, you've got to follow what your ancestors did, essentially.
Yeah.
Otherwise your clan magic suffers.
Yeah.
Or if you go along with sort of what your ancestors did, it then improves your clan magic.
Yeah, you get bonuses according to that.
Yeah.
The whole game revolves around the council, the circle that you create. They're representatives of everyone's interests in the clan type thing.
They're the decision makers.
And how they behave is dependent on who they worship, which god they're on the side of, and their own sort of personal abilities, if you like.
Yeah.
Because they've all got skills and things that can be improved.
Yeah, if you've selected a leader for your clan ring, and they're not very good at leadership, for instance, they won't necessarily be that reliable, the advice they give you.
No.
And I like that about the game, the fact that your advisors don't necessarily get it right.
Yeah, they can be horribly wrong.
Yeah, and in fact are wrong a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they're probably less wrong the more skilled they are.
I remember trying to set up a permanent trade route with someone, and I said the wrong thing. They said, oh yeah, we should definitely say this to them. So I went, go with their advice. Completely insulted the people.
Yeah.
Failed to get the trade route.
Should have sent a trader, I suspect.
Yeah.
But yes, I like the fact that they can give you wrong advice.
Yeah.
It's really good. You get a sort of feel for what seems right and wrong most of the time.
And whether they're good at giving advice.
Yeah. And then you can prove their skills. There's some hero quests that can do it. I'm not sure if there's any treasures specifically, but there's various blessings you can implement from local shrines and things like that, which you can build, which is good.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of funny tinkering.
Yeah.
You do sort of get a feel for how reliable what they're saying is.
Yeah.
But always catches you out when you're at a new situation.
Yeah.
And they say something that seems reasonable and they go, oh no, I shouldn't have done that.
The turns are sort of divided among seasons, which is like the sacred time where you allocate all of the sort of magic to various things that you want to do. Like if your people are sick, you want to put points into health. If your herds are suffering, you might want to put points into that, that sort of thing. It will make you stronger in those areas for that year.
Yeah, it's like a yearly ritual you perform to give you benefits for the year, sort of thing.
Yeah, and you get 2 turns every season, and there's 5 different seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And the season kind of dictates what you should do during that time. There's various things that need to be done, like during Earth season, everyone's harvesting, so you don't want to send everyone off for war, because you'll starve that year,
Yeah, and you want to sort of raid in fire season's a very typical one.
Yeah,
you can do it any time, but...
Fire season is like the dry summer, so everyone's off raiding then. Dark season's like the wintry time, and if you send people off on journeys and stuff, they might get into trouble.
Yeah, or not even make it because of the weather.
Yeah. The controls are sort of various different screens which represent different areas of tweaking in your clan.
Yeah, it's like management screens for different areas like farming and diplomacy and shrines and things.
Yeah, things like that. The basics of it is to keep everyone alive and healthy, but it's a lot more complicated than that when you get into it.
Yeah.
I found it very confusing when I went back to it after not playing it for years. But then you kind of get used to where everything is. Everything's done with sort of symbols.
Yeah, there's a lot of buttons and stuff to press, basically. And, it is, you get the hang of it really quickly. I mean, it's just because you're unfamiliar with it.
There's
nothing inherently complicated, though.
No, but there is endless amounts of tinkering you can do to change things about.
That's it, mess with your fields too much and suddenly everyone is starved the next year.
Yeah, that's right. Or there'll be nowhere to hunt, or, things like that.
That's it. Or the fox will have a go at you or something.
Yeah.
Because you promised not to move your wildlands for 5 years.
And you forgot about that.
2 seasons later.
Yeah.
I guess the more attention you can pay to what has happened and what you've sort of promised, the easier it's going to be for you. But it does have a sort of a saga, sort of like a log of what you've done. But I never check it. I never remember. It's like...
But you had an epic game, you could read it afterwards.
Oh yeah, I think you can print it out as well.
Yeah, I think you can. Currency's split into 2 different things, isn't it? It's goods and cattle.
Yeah, I mean, goods, if you like, are your traditional currency. It's literally money in some cases, but it could be jewellery, stuff like that. It's abstracted down to just goods. Yeah. And cows are cows. Yeah. Yeah. You want lots of cows.
Yeah, the more cows you have, the more respected and envied you'll be by the other clans.
Yeah, your actual clan will start having a go at you if you have 2 fewer cows.
Yeah.
Because you need a big herd, and some sacrifices do better if you sacrifice cows as opposed to goods.
And the same when you're making deals with people, some people prefer to receive cows than...
It's generally, although they've essentially, the goods are measured in cows. Yeah. It's a little confusing, but,
Cows worth of silver or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it always seems like cows are actually more valuable than the actual equivalent in goods.
Yeah.
But I suppose, like I say, with the sacrifices, it's like, a peaceful sort of deity. Yeah. We'd probably prefer the goods rather than killing cows.
Yeah, whereas one of the war ones might prefer cow's blood for the angry god.
And you have to try and just sort of work that out on your own.
Yeah. And you can set up trade routes to neighbours. Don't necessarily have to be your allies, but you can set up that as well.
Yeah, I think you've got more of a chance if they like you. Then,
yeah. After you've done your actions for that particular turn, an event could trigger. And these could be anything. There's just loads of these in the game, and they're really, really interesting. And it's different every time you play. So yeah. And things that you do have repercussions later on in the game.
Gotcha.
So you got to be careful when you're making, really careful when you're making your decisions.
Yeah, somebody you let join your little clan 5 years ago might just suddenly turn up and murder everyone.
Yeah, that sort of thing, yeah. Or you give something away and then some massive monster comes looking for it. Yeah. That sort of thing.
Yeah. repetition isn't really apparent most of the time.
No, I don't.
I mean, you do see similar things come up sometimes, but there's quite a lot of variety in it, and the things that come up frequently are more trivial type events, like the rubble runners, for instance.
Oh yeah, like vermin type things on your land.
That's it, but it makes sense.
Oh, the shaman who turn up and give you obscure things to do. And it's like, are they a madman or are they one of the gods? Well, you've got to treat them like a representative of the gods, haven't you?
Depends what you fancy, really.
Oh,
Could
God.
just be a loony.
Yes, they might be a loony.
There's long-term consequences.
There's a load of different ways you can deal with the situations, and there's loads of different questions you'll be asked to resolve as a clan leader. Like infidelity, issues amongst your people, rebellion.
Yeah, I mean, they range from trivial things, which you perhaps shouldn't even get involved in.
Yeah.
And some of them even have that option where you can just say, it's not a problem for us, sort it out yourself.
Yeah, this is domestic, nothing to do with it.
And some things are more serious. But the results aren't necessarily the same. If you had the same event come up and you pick the same action, it won't necessarily result in the same thing.
Yeah.
It depends on a lot of factors. And I guess some random elements as well.
It's not just other clans you have to worry about. You've got the forces of chaos, you've got strange, weird beastmen.
Yeah, there's a lot of factions, if you like, that aren't actually other clans, and they all have an attitude towards you.
Yes.
And if you piss them off, they're going to come attacking you more regularly. And if you're nice to them, I guess they might even help you out.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. I know I annoyed the horse spawn, so I got endless raids by the horse spawn.
Yeah, everyone gets that. I'm not even sure you can even be nice to them, actually.
So warfare is a big bit of the game, I would say. It's kind of a tradition to go raiding on people. If you've got a feud with someone, you send your warriors out, you try to plunder everything and get their stuff and make your clan better.
Yeah, that's right. If they can't protect it, they don't deserve it.
Indeed.
That's the Orlanthi way.
Yeah. And the other type of attack that you can do is cattle raiding, which you want to send a small amount of people and try and get as many cows as possible.
Yeah, they should have had better defences, shouldn't they?
Yeah, and people won't necessarily get so annoyed with you for that because everyone does it. Everyone, it's a tradition.
Yeah, that's exactly that. It's part of the Orlanthi way.
Raiding, you're actually going in to plunder, slaughter. You get options, and you can choose how to attack. There is some variety in there. It's not just fixed for you.
Yeah, you get some choices. It's quite simple, really, the choices you get on it, but,
And it's worked out abstractly. You don't see the battle.
No, sometimes you get special events during the battle.
Yeah, chance to be a hero or, something like that.
And it can change the course of the battle a bit or get somebody killed or something.
That's it, and you can use treasures, which are things you can find throughout the world, which affect pretty much most things in the game. You can have a treasure that affects it. And you can use in battle, there's one for like capturing captives, there's big net, and there's a whip which you can scare horses with and things like that. So they can really affect it. And you can also make sacrifices to the gods to help you.
Yeah.
But of course, if you're sacrificing to the gods, they can charge you and slaughter you.
Yeah,
you're
that's
finished.
Right. Yeah, if they charge you and you're sacrificing, they get the rush on you.
Yeah. So it's all down to decisions, how you want to play for your clan. Another one of the screens is that you can explore the area. You can explore the world around you. When you first get there, there'll be a small bit revealed on the map, and there'll be blank bits, and you can send people out on journeys to explore those areas, and you can find treasures, you can meet people. Various events can be triggered by that as well.
Yeah, there's various locations you can visit. If you've played RuneQuest and have a look at the Dragon Pass map, you can sort of go to places you might always wanted to visit.
Yeah.
Because they're sort of in the right places, most. Snakepipe Hollow's a good example. Don't go there.
No.
And the map in the back of the RuneQuest book, it's pretty much that screen.
Yeah, and you'll slowly reveal that by exploring, but it can be very deadly, and the people you send out may not come back.
Yeah, even if you're just exploring locally.
Yeah. And I think that's a bit of the game which people might call hardcore, is that you could lose characters forever. These people who you've put time and effort in for seasons after season could just disappear if you get a bad expiration or if you do a hero quest, which are incredibly deadly things to do. A whole bit of the game is the myths and legends of the gods, and the hero quests are tied in with doing acts related to those.
Yeah, you basically reenact something that the god did. And
one big bit of it is finding out more information about these stories so that you're less likely to die when you try to reproduce them in your rituals.
Yeah, I mean, you might know a bit of a myth, but not all the details. And so when you come to do the hero quest, there'll be a decision screen and you won't have read anything about it.
Yeah. But you can find out more information through trade and through exploring and sacrifices to the gods and that sort of thing.
Yeah. For the most chance of success, you want to know everything about the myth, so you've got a chance of it working.
Yeah.
But again,
Yes,
just because you take the right action doesn't mean that you actually succeed.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to have lots of things going for you. You know, the right type of person. You want to make sure that the god you're doing it for doesn't hate your guts. And
and that you've spent points in it during your sacred time and things like that.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. It's not just here's the right sequence and then you've succeeded.
There's a sort of short version of the game you can play and a long version, and they both have different ways of winning.
Yeah.
But essentially it's the same. It's that you've got to set up a tribe from all of these scattered clans.
Yes, you have to form a tribe out of a certain number of clans. 3 or 4, I think it is minimum.
Yeah, and perform hero quests and stay in power for a particular period of time.
Yeah, 10 years. Like somebody comes along, gives you what's called a 10-year ring, and you've got to basically stay leader of this tribe for 10 years and do some hero quests.
Yeah, but even when I've played the short game, it's still taking me hours and hours to play.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not. I mean the short game isn't that short, and also it's you're not guaranteed to actually manage to get to be leader of your tribe.
No.
You're going to have to gift people, and it doesn't always work.
Not die when you're up in the god plane.
Yeah, or not get kicked out by everyone in your tribe thinking you're a rotter.
Yeah. It's a real struggle, and that's a really good thing about it, I think, is that
Yeah.
you're really working towards this thing, and it's as difficult as it should be.
Yeah, I think the balance is quite good. And the long game is a lot longer. You've got to do a lot more hero quests, and you go through a lot more trials with your tribe.
Yeah.
And I think you build pavis in the end. I can't remember if it's actually pavis, but you certainly have to build a big city type thing. There's a lot more to it, and it's a lot more tricky, and you need tons of cows and trade goods and stuff to bribe everyone with.
Yeah. The graphics and sound probably don't look as contemporary as some other games out there at the moment.
No, I mean the graphics it's in a 640 by 480 screen, and we got it here, and it's tried to make it not widescreen, but it's obviously very stretched.
Yeah,
So
I played it with a ratio off on mine, and it really didn't bother me at all. You can adjust it so that you're playing it in an old style screen.
Yeah, it depends on your monitor, I think.
Okay, sound-wise, what do you think of it?
Pretty plain sort of stuff. Music sort of okay, but if you play it for hours, you'll be hearing it when you stop playing.
You do. There is options to switch it off.
Yeah.
So if you are being driven mad by the bagpipes or
Yeah.
MIDI bagpipe.
Yeah, and I suppose in the modern release of it, as I say, a download of the game, it's not as bad. With the original CD version, it played the music off the disc.
Oh yeah.
So your CD drive would be just going constantly.
Yeah, constant roar of your CD while
it
playing.
was bad because of that.
This version which we're showing you here is from Good Old Games, and it's not been updated for modern machines, but there is another version out for the iPad,
Yeah, I guess
iPhone and
if
stuff.
you use them sort of devices, that's probably actually the one you want to get.
Yeah.
I'd imagine. I think that it seems to look a lot better, and I imagine it's a bit smoother.
Yeah.
And hopefully any of the UI changes with that are actually improvement.
Yeah, and the Android version was literally just out, so...
Yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully you'll get an idea of what the game's like through this. Obviously, it's always difficult with, non-action games to show exactly what's going on, but you'll get an idea of it, of how it plays. It's very fiddly. The whole thing about this is that it's gameplay. It's all about the game.
Yeah. You have to accept.
Who cares about the graphics and the sound, although they're both pleasing.
Yeah.
This is all about the game and how it plays, and it's really absorbing, and you just lose hours on it if you give it a go.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you can't expect a game that's like nearly 15 years old to sort of work so well.
Yeah,
But it plays fine, and it really is only the stretching of the graphics.
Generally, the quality of construction is amazing on it, that it's still playable all these years later.
Yeah.
And still excellent fun.
Yeah. So, as usual, on the bleeding edge of computer games, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right,
14 years ago that was actually re-released 2 years ago.
But still, yeah, that's it. Yeah, you can get it on GOG.com, Good Old Games, and other places. So this was a rare beast.
Yeah.
We both love it.
Yeah.
It's well worth giving a go.
It is. It's pretty cheap as well, actually.
Yeah, it's very reasonable indeed.
It's very RuneQuesty. I like that bit.
Yeah, it's incredibly RuneQuesty. So try the game.
Yeah. Go on now. Thanks for watching.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.